Today I fucked up by doing my cat a solid. I live in a tall household. I'm a 5 feet 11 inches lady and my housemates are 6 feet 1 inch and 6 feet 5 inches respectively. We can reach high things. We got a cat a couple of months ago that we're basically obsessed with. He is not tall, it's not his fault. A few weeks ago we started cracking the windows because the landlord turned the heat on and it's hot AF. This led to the occasional insect coming inside to chill on our ceiling. It drove the cat nuts. So we started lifting the cat to the ceiling to hunt because we love him dearly, and because it was funny as shit. Cat is happy, we're amused. The only loser here is the fly that picked the wrong apartment. Wrong. Fast forward to today. The cat now considers the ceiling his hunting grounds and will spend an inordinate amount of time staring at the empty ceiling and crying for prey. Can't help ya, bud. TL doctor, I gave my cat a taste of the high life, now he's down in the dumps. Edit, punctuation matters. Edit, gold. Thank you, kind stranger. Also, cat tax. Edit the third, an awful lot of you have never heard of steam heat. Pre-war buildings tend not to have central air, so heat is supplied via steam pipes and radiators using a furnace in the basement. In especially shitty hipster apartments, the radiator is either off or on. Guess what type of apartment I live in? Looks up at ceiling. Then at you. Feed me, Seymour. Build a cat superhighway. Some shelves or drawers close to the ceilings. My cat goes into scan mode often cause he's obsessed with stink bugs, so we gave him an easier way to get to them. Very entertaining. Stink bugs used to be mine's favorite. She ate one and now is terrified of them. Totally misread this at first and thought you said you were a 5 feet 1 inch lady. I was like, I guess that's taller than a cat, but not really braggingly so. I do this with one of my cats. He will only cry when he sees a bug, sometimes a nail or dust, that's too high for him, that he wants to murder. He will not rest until I pick him up to kill the thing. He must protect this household. The other cat only has one eye, so if a spider on the floor moves left, she loses it and then spins in circles wondering where it went, then usually attacks nothing on the floor and struts away as if she killed the largest of prey to save herself the embarrassment of admitting she lost the spider. There's only one clear solution to this. Cat stilts, but with knives on the end. Today I fucked up by having a stress-induced orgasm in a public library. Throwaway account because my dignity. Obligatory. This happened during midterms in October. I just haven't had a chance to write about it until now. This is going to be a long one, but I feel this story requires a certain degree of explanation before reaching the climax, no pun intended. I'm a 26-year-old woman in a rather intensive graduate program. To put it in perspective, grad programs in this field typically take 2 years to complete, but the one I'm enrolled in is a 1-year program. So right off the bat, I'm completing 2 years worth of coursework in one. Secondly, I'm now at a fairly prestigious university after having completed my undergrad at a not-so-great university. I always thought I had high standards for myself, but the expectations at this school are much higher than what I'm used to, and I still question all the time whether I'm actually good enough to be here. Thirdly, I'm not so great at handling stress. I am working with a therapist through campus psychological services, but I'm not finding their approach to therapy particularly helpful. And since that's all I can afford right now with my insurance, that's the best I can get. Bottom line, I'm stressed out all the time. And midterms were hell, 4 hefty papers all due within 3 days of each other. Now, 3 of those papers weren't so bad. They took a while to write, but at least I knew what I was writing. Paper number 4, however. Guys, this paper fucked me hard. This paper fucked me like I've never been fucked in my whole life. And I'm in an English-related field, so believe me, I am not used to getting fucked by papers. I won't bore you with the details, but in a nutshell, the paper required that we read a pool of approximately 30 to 40 journal articles and write a paper on their characteristics. To be fair, we had from mid-August to mid-October to complete this assignment, so given the time span, it was doable. Now, if I were to write a list of all the reasons why this paper threw me off, I'd end up with a dissertation. In the limited space I have, I can't fully explain why this paper was so hard, so please just believe me when I tell you it was hard. Yes, even though I'd spoken to the professor about it a few times. And it was worth about a third of my grade. Anyway, this big bastard was due on a Monday, so I brought myself to the library on Friday, determined, after several failed attempts, to at least get an outline done. I tried for about 2.5 hours to draw up a plan to organize this thing, but for the life of me, I could not figure out how to cram all the required elements into a cohesive, logical argument, especially given the minuscule word count of the assignment, 2,500 words maximum, when this paper could have been a fucking book. Now, at this point, it's not that I was losing willpower or energy. No, the problem was that I was freaking out. I wanted to focus on this paper, but all my brain could do was assault me with a barrage of negative thoughts. You're going to fail this paper and fail this class and lose your financial aid and drop out of school and be a huge failure to everyone because you suck. You get the idea. And then, to make matters worse, my mental distress started to express itself physically. I wanted to keep writing, but my hands were shaking so much I could barely even hold my pen. My neck was stiff as a board, my head burned above my eyes, my back was spasming a little, and my heart was pounding like a fucking jackhammer. And then, I've googled this and haven't really been able to find a satisfactory explanation for what happened next. But I'll recount the sensation as I experienced it. All of a sudden, I felt a massive rush of blood to my lower body. I can only guess this was some kind of adrenaline-related fight or flight response. My entire bottom half suddenly felt as if it had been electrified, feet, legs, and lady bits. There I was, silently losing my mind in a library full of students studying for midterms, when out of the clear blue sky, my clit feels ready to burst. I came before I even knew what was happening. It wasn't some screaming, thrashing affair, but I did convulse in my chair and ended up moaning a little out of sheer surprise. And yes, people definitely noticed. I was on the quiet study floor, so the room had been silent up until that point. I don't think I was obvious enough that anyone would conclude I'd just had an orgasm in the library, but still. Clearly something had happened. I packed my shit, went the hell home, and drank several screwdrivers at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. As I said, I haven't really found a thorough explanation for this, though I haven't been searching too intensely. I have found the occasional anecdotal account of people having similar experiences. Mostly, though, I've been finding articles about how stress and anxiety inhibit orgasm in women. For my part in this research, I state for the record that stress can, indeed, spiral so low that it sort of bursts through the other side and expresses itself as sexual ecstasy, whether you like it or not. Also, I got a 78 on the paper, but my professor assures me it won't end up tanking my grade. Too long didn't read. I got so stressed that I came involuntarily in my university library. Also, I may have masochistic tendencies and don't know who I am anymore. Edit. Thank you all for your thoughtful responses, as well as for the silver and gold. I'd just like to clarify on a couple of points that have been brought up. I did not procrastinate on this assignment. I completed the reading in a timely manner and gave myself plenty of time, more than a week, to write this paper. Given the rigor of this program, that is all the time I could give myself to do it. The paper just never quite happened in an orderly, timely fashion because I was so confused and stressed out. Normally I never put off things until the last minute. It just sort of happened this time because I had no idea what I was doing. Secondly, I am working with a therapist on my stress management techniques. I recently told my therapist that I'd like to do some more intensive work for managing stress, and she referred me to an off-campus therapist who will accept my insurance. Hopefully, we'll be able to work together to figure out some solutions that work for me. Again, I'm very grateful for all the advice and input. I'm really glad I could make you guys laugh. You all have made me laugh, as well. I'll read what she's reading. Guys, this paper fucked me hard. This paper fucked me like I've never been fucked in my whole life. That should explain why you'd orgasm. Damn tensor calculus. How many more women will you bring to climax? A girl I used to date said she would have accidental orgasms at the gym by doing leg raises on a dip machine. The first time was an accident, the other 300 times per year are why you started with used to date tongue. It is an actual condition. I know about this because it has happened to me. It has to do with your pelvic muscles going into spasm mode. You probably have a hypertonic pelvic floor because you carry your stress in your pelvic muscles without you even knowing. You can get it checked out with a pelvic floor specialist and go to pelvic floor therapy to relax your muscles and avoid any other experiences like that. You can message me if you have any questions, smile. Next you'll be asking for pictures, nice try Bill Clinton. Today I fucked up by getting Hulk Hogan stuck to my foreskin. Even though this happened over a decade ago, my family still occasionally roasts me for it. Back when I was around 9 or 10 my family bought me these toys for Christmas. As the picture suggests, you could connect a figure's fists to another's via the magnets on the fists themselves, which happen to be really strong. You can probably see where this is going already. In my not so clever mind I wanted to see if I could connect the wrestlers to my foreskin. I remember stretching my foreskin with one hand whilst also holding one of the wrestler's fists against the stretched skin. Then with my other hand I grabbed the other wrestler and slowly brought its fist closer to the foreskin where the other fist was sitting on the other side. Snap! I fell over and screamed in agonizing pain, as not only were Hulk Hogan and Goldberg stuck to my foreskin, they were pinching the end like a snapping turtle. Hulk and Goldberg held their grip, while I screamed in pain. I tried pulling them apart but due to the pain or panic I just couldn't. To my absolute embarrassment, my mum and dad rushed into the room and had to pull Hulk and Goldberg from my dick. This story is still brought up at Christmas dinners to this day. Too long didn't read, got Hulk Hogan and Goldberg action figures, stuck to my dick via magnets and had to get my parents to remove them. I remember these toys. I remember how cool they were. I remember never thinking about using them to bro fist my cock skin. Deleted. Nothing ever prepares parents for this kind of shit. Tony, come here, you're not going to believe this. Liz, I don't have time for. Hold on, let me get my camera. That wiener looking erect today, brother. So this is what they mean by cock and ball torture. Alternate title, Today I fucked up by receiving CBT from Hulk Hogan and Goldberg. Holy shit dude, this happened to my high school boyfriend. Our buddy had stolen a couple super strong magnets from his chemistry class and brought them over. My boyfriend wanted to see if he could feel the magnetic goings on if he held them on either side of his dick. Being that these were industrial grade magnets, they immediately wanted to snap together, and they snapped his skin with them. It was just a pinch of skin, he's circumcised, but he was screaming in agony. It took me forever to get the magnets off because they were hard squares. There wasn't a good way to get any leverage to pull them apart. We just had to slowly pull them off of him, which took a little bit of his skin with it. He made us promise not to tell anyone, but he did wind up cheating on me junior year with that whore Cassie, so it's all good.